Hey everybody, this is Eric, and we're going to be going over the Spooky Nook. I guess it's the HGSL finals, or I guess the first two games, and then the semifinals, and then we're going to do some season-long stuff as we lead into, I guess, the last tournament of the season, which is going to be this coming week. So the first game, again, don't worry about this. The Crown versus NJ Beast game, it is showing on the main screen as a loss, but the actual stats are correct. And the reason for this again is because you guys don't give me a break, and you have the exact same color jerseys as the opponent, so it makes things very difficult. But that's okay. We adapt. So against NJ Beast, this is just an exceptional performance. Again, we need to have effective field goal percentages of 55% to win these big tournaments. And this was 67%, but it's got an asterisk on it, and we're going to talk about this. When I come up with this 55% number to win these tough tournaments, it's based on a lot of back testing, and you got to be really, I don't know, you got to be really focused on what you want to do with respect to your shot selection. I'm going to get into that. So on the paper, this looks really good, right? You beat them by 20. Your effective field goal percentage was through the roof. Uh, Offensive rebounds were really good. Remember, we want that at 30% or higher, and your turnovers are below 20, almost below 15. But, when you look at the shot chart, there's a little more to this than meets the eye. So you have, you scored 64 points, but you'll see that you ran extremely hot from this area that you're not supposed to shoot from. And I'm not giving up on this with you guys, and I know who the offenders are. And the problem here is that unless coaches yell at them for these shots, you know, they're going to keep taking them. And God forbid they make a couple of them. See, from here in this particular game, you were what's 1 for 3, 3 for 7, 4 for 8, like 5, 6 for 10, which is so far ahead of expectation, right? You guys make about 30% of these during the course of the season. So whenever you have a situation here, when you make more of these than you're supposed to, it leads you into this sense that you can start taking these shots. And in the long run, it ends up coming back to get you, and that's why the 55% margin is something you want to strive for, because unless you run super hot with these particular shots, which are usually really, really poor, you're going to lure yourself into this sense of security. So, and this is an example of that. You really shouldn't be taking these, and because they happen to go in, you're going to just take them some more. And your effective field goal percentage is just not going to be as high as it could be. Now, again, this game didn't work out that way, but, you did well enough. But let's take a look at the stats. By athlete, total. So let's see. From three, Sean 2 for 3, Ryan 1 for 3, Nolan 1 for 2, Justin 1 for 2. And this is going to sound kind of strange, but I think you guys should have been taking more threes than these twos. Now again, Ryan, I guess most of these were finishes, and this is exceptional. But really, really nice game. Actually, look at this: 11 for 14 from the field, almost all of them at the rim. But you got to be very careful about these mid-range shots, because they will come back to regress against you. And coaches, I mean, how long has it been? 3 years now. I need more. I need more perfect shot charts. We only had one all of last year. We had one last year for this group when you were 16s. And remember, I stood up in the video and applauded. If you're going to actually win these tournaments, you're going to have to. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to either be much better at basketball, which is asking a lot, or just be better with your shot selection. I know it's what are you doing criticizing us? You ended up winning, doing nothing but winning in Atlantic City and whatever. But again, I can't be results oriented here, and I'm trying to teach you guys for the future also. So good job, Ryan. Good finishes, and yeah, you got the win. So you went on to your next game to play. Let's see. Next game I have is the Moss Elite game, or is the Brad Wanamaker? Oh, the Wanamaker game was the game before. So the Moss Elite game, you guys won 71-66. And boy, the Moss Elite guy, that was a strange injury, by the way. I made a clip of that. I made it unlisted though. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in my life. I mean, the guy literally did nothing. He must have like tried to plant, and his Achilles might have given out. I have no idea. I've watched that clip so many times. So let's just take a look. I mean, this is tremendous. 65% effective field goal percentage. Again, we'll take a look at the breakdown of that. Turnover rate, very nice. And offensive rebounds, you struggled here. And again, we talked about that. When you only have Jordan and no Seth, and I don't even know if Jordan played this game. I think he must have. It puts a lot of pressure on you, and you rose to the challenge with the effective field goal percentage being so high. But let's take a look at the shot chart, and once again, I think there might be issues here. Let's see. Once again, again, I hate to be a stickler here, but 1, 2, 3, 5 bad twos, and that's more than the 10%. And you get rid of these, you're going to end up doing even better. I mean, imagine doing better than 67%. And you again, this is going for what is this? 1 for 5 from this range. You still lit it up because of your really good performance from the areas you're supposed to be taking shots from. And again, this gets you into bad habits where you won't be as hot from the outside. And this is not the answer. Okay. All right, let's take a look under stats by athlete from this game. I mean, you guys were just awesome from 3. Justin, not as good, 2 for 6. But again, think about it from a statistical perspective. Just 1 more 3 made, and you're above expectation. So, I mean, all of this is perfectly fine. Brandon 2 for 5, no one 2 for 4. Ryan 2 for 2. That's excellent, obviously. So you guys ran really pure from 3, and got the job done. I mean, really, really nice job. But again, I'd love to clean up this shot chart so much so that when you get to these games, and we'll get to this, this George Hill game, which was the semifinals, you guys beat them before in one of these tournaments, and I made a joke that George Hill. It's interesting because George Hill himself is one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA, if not the leader in the best in the NBA. And for a team like that to basically shoot nothing but bad twos in the last game against you, they did you such a favor by letting you guys do that, by not letting you win, but putting themselves in a position where their athleticism was just not helping them. And you ended up getting the win over them last time, I think. But this time, I think they were a little better. And what that does is put a lot more pressure on you guys. And you look at this, and now you see 53%. And unfortunately, as I said, that's just not going to be good enough. And I'd like to think it's because, again, you just weren't quite as efficient in your sock selection. We'll get to it, but you look at 53%, 14, 20%. We'll look at the shot charts in a second. But the rebounds we knew were going to be bad against this team. I mean, they have way too much size. But you kept the turnovers down. You just need to do a little bit better with your shot making / shot selection. For example, let's look at your opponents. They were 56% effective field goal percentage. It was a very, very close game. They turned the ball over a little more, but they got a little more rebounds. So you just had to do it a little bit better. And as I mentioned, on the margins, these games are so tight that you can't give anything up. You just can't give up any of your equity. So for example, even here, I mean, you actually did okay from here, but I guess this isn't that bad. So 3, 5, 8 out of 46. I mean, I know you ran hot or whatever, but way too few shots at the rim, I guess. But again, these guys did have some size. But I'd like to think that this, you guys lost by basically 1 shot. Instead of these 3 shots being taken from here and going 1 for 3, that got you how many points? 2. You bring them back to here, and then we get you another point. Even these kind of bad shots here, I wonder what would happen even if this, I don't know. Well, again, you obviously ran very, very well from here, but you've got to really develop very, very strong habits if you're going to get there in these games. Now you look at the opponents, like for example, like look at George Hill. Okay, this is how you let a team that has no business, I would say no business being in the game with you because you're obviously very well fundamental, very strong fundamentals. But I mean, they were just much bigger and stronger than you. But look what they did to you. Look what they did. Look how they tried to let you win this. 1, 3, 5, 0 for 6. 20% of their shots were bad twos. Okay. So they once again, this team, given their level of ability, I mean, they're underperforming, given this shit. Okay, honestly. I mean, that coach should be ashamed of himself. And I was watching their whole approach. They try to slam the ball into the post, whatever it is. And unfortunately for you, you just didn't have enough just raw physicality to combat some of what they were throwing at you. But from an efficiency perspective, they were really bad. Okay, relative to what they could have been. Look what they were at the rim. Okay, they were 14 for 17 from the rim. You had literally no rim protection. So what are they doing shooting these shots? It just makes no sense. But that's George Hill's problem, not mine. All right, let's take a look at the individuals from this game. Let's see. George Hill, athlete totals. Ryan, 3 for 9 from 3, including one ridiculous step back. That was an amazing shot. Nolan kind of ran out of gas here, 0 for 5 for 3. Justin got hot, 5 for 6. Overall, not bad. Any turnovers I need to worry about from this game? Let's see. Spins 2, Ryan 2. No, I mean, overall, really, really good. This was a tough team, and you were right there. And, and I saw the end of that game, and you get one rebound off their missed free throw. Who knows? I mean, you were down 9 with like 2 minutes to go, and you came back within one possession. But you were like tied at the half, and you just kind of let them get a little bit too much at the rim. That's the best I can say. But let's take a look just for fun at the season longs as we head into this last weekend, both from a team perspective and and some individuals. Let's take a look at like all the games, all seasons. So now we have 28 games, and that's like a real college season. We'll select them all. So overall for the season, listen, what did I mention? I mentioned that if you want to win the whole shebang, right, you need to have an effective field goal percentage of about 55%. Not quite there. You've made up for it with like good defense and other good things, but you want to win this thing, I want you to close this out with a W. You're going to need 55% in all of your games. I mean, you just are. Take a look at the shot chart for the season, by the way. Shot chart for the season, just for the hell of it. Let's see what your percentage of shots. So there's 1,392 field goals, and let's see how many bad twos. 82, 107, 135, 166, like 230, like 280. So it was more than I would have liked. I mean, to be quite honest with you, but and it did hold you back as far as listen. Remember those 3 or 4 games you guys lost that tournament again. I don't know how many of you guys are going to be back next year or whatever into your whole career. This is you guys have done great. I'm not saying that anything bad. You guys have done great, but could have done better. I mean, really. And I'd like for you guys to finish the season off with some with some good performances with respect to where you're taking your shots from and all that. You have the talent to do this, and I really want you guys to finish this season off with 4 really, really, or maybe more, right? 4 or 5, 6. I don't know how many games they let you play. Really, really good performances. With respect to the individuals, let's remind ourselves of the goals that I wanted you guys to have. So, a perfect world. So at 55%, what I'd like to see is for you guys to either, as individuals, get 55% from 2 or 37.5% from 3, because that all corresponds to 55. Now, every year there's usually 3 guys, or usually 1, but maybe 3 that can do both. At 55% from 2 and 37% from 3. Let's take a look. Let's look at the threes first. Okay. From 3-point percentage, Justin with 39%. That was pretty good. That was obviously really good. And then Salem was the only other one. So actually, Justin, you were the only one to have 37.5% from three. Okay. Um, let's take a look at twos. 55% from two. So a bunch of you, Seth, but then Jordan, very good. Spins, Ryan. There you go, Justin. So Justin, he's your winner this year so far. He's so far the only one that has able to get both to be able to get both 50% from 55. Oh, he does not have 55% from two. Oh, so Justin, you need to get there. In the next four tournaments, you've got to finish all of your layups. Okay. And if you're gonna get caught doing those FCFs, right? Then you better make them because we got to get you to this 55%. Because every year there's somebody who gets both. I mean, last year I think we had several between like Roddy and there's a couple of others actually, and I think Ryan the year before. But Justin, you're the hope for that individual thing. But all of you, you're doing very, very well. I think you guys have played to 80%, and I want to see that last push into this last tournament. That's all I have for you guys. Great job and good luck.